Welcome back to the Police Recruiting Show. Welcome to 2025. And this episode is a little different. We don't have our CEO, Doug Larson, with us, but we have somebody that we really respect and we've been working with for many, many months. His name is Adam Boyd. Now, Adam, I'm not going to read your bio. You've done so much. Kind of tell our audience about who you are, where you've been, and kind of what you're doing now in the fitness space.
Yeah, so again, my name is Adam Boyd. I'm a former police officer. I worked investigations. I was an FTO, worked SWAT for several years. And now I'm bringing wellness programs to first responders and military. We work on site with whatever agency brings us in. And our goal really is to be proactive with our well-being. We talk about physical health, mental health, leadership, social health, and bringing back some of that purpose that initially brought us into the professions.
Yeah, and Adam, how you and Safeguard Recruiting hooked up is we were hearing from our clients that, hey, we were able to find the recruits, we'll get them to the written portion of the exam, but then we were losing them on the fitness portion. I mean, I think it's well documented that the youth today are not in as good a shape as previous years, and everybody knows all that data, so we don't need to go into it. But the truth is that those fitness requirements have not changed for law enforcement. They may have changed for society, but law enforcement still needs fit cops. And so to enter the profession, they typically have to pass certain standards through a testing process. And so it does us no good to find recruits for our clients, but then they don't pass the actual initial testing of. And so we set out to find the foremost expert in the fitness world that has a connection with law enforcement that knows exactly what we're talking about. And Adam, that's where you come in. So you've done a lot of stuff other than with Safeguard. I want you sort of were humble in what you said. Kind of talk to us about what your expertise is in, and we'll lead into what we're doing for our recruits within Safeguard with that.
Well, it started when I first got onto our SWAT team. My SWAT commander found out that I was an ultra runner and asked me to run some workout programs for our guys and make it a little bit more formal. And at the time, I knew nothing about actually training anybody. So about a week later in my inbox, he sends me a strength and conditioning certification. And from there, it just kind of snowballed. I started training our team. I got strength and conditioning certified. I got AZ Post certified, physical fitness instructor. I started training people on the weekends and my off time. And, of course, continually training myself. I've run several 100-mile races. Just the other day, I sprang in the new year running a 6-hour run, coming off an injury with no training. So that was super fun. But, what I started to see in my career, because I also ran the physical fitness testing process for my agency for many years. And people were just coming in, qualified candidates, but they're missing the push-ups, the sit-ups, or the run. And look, we can't fix your background, but I can fix your approach to physical fitness. We can get you to a point where you can pass the necessary requirements to take you to that next level. And, that I'm trying to use my expertise in getting really good, solid candidates physically fit enough so we can get them to the academy and hopefully build a lifelong habit that allows them to carry that fitness throughout their career.
Yeah, and I don't want to scare anybody. I mean, Adam is obviously an ultra runner. That's what we're trying to ask our recruits to do. But what you're seeing, Adam, is you're right. We're seeing great candidates that are just missing the push-ups, just missing the setups, or just missing the 1.5-mile run or whatever the requirements are. And so what you've done for Safeguard, Adam, and it's on our website now at safeguardrecruiting.com, but we also offer this to our clients that hire us to do recruiting. We're not just going to send you recruits. We want to make sure those recruits can pass your standards. You've got a two-pronged test. You have first, you attack the fitness portion, but then you also attack the oral board portion. Let's talk about the fitness portion first. You call it Fit to Protect. And on our website, we call it Fit to Protect, Master the Hiring Process for Recruits. It's phenomenal stuff, but you have data where you're increasing the 1.5-mile run for people. Your participants in this program have increased their push-ups by 48%. They've increased their setups by 43%. We put real data to this. They just follow the program, and they're going to be well prepared to pass the fitness portion of the test. And we'll talk about cost in a minute, but it's minimal. It's very minimal when you look at the resources and time and money it takes to get a qualified candidate to only lose them at this part of the process. And it just doesn't need to happen. And so let's talk about the Fit to Protect program, Adam, kind of how you built it out and what it entails.
So we built it around a couple concepts. One, we obviously want to get you physically prepared to pass the test. It is specifically designed and tailored to that police entry program. We're not trying to make people ultra runners, not trying to make you CrossFit athletes. We are specifically giving you a program that is designed to get you past that 1.5 mile run, the push-ups and the sit-ups. The other thing that we're trying to do is not overwhelm people. So our target audience isn't people that are physically fit, obviously. It's those that are struggling with that PT, which tells me that they're not going to the gym on a regular basis. They're not running on a regular basis. So I don't want to overload you with a difficult workout program. We want to make it time sensitive. So we're not asking you to put in, hours upon hours every week to try to get yourself fit. It doesn't take that much time. And we're trying to make it easy to follow, fun, and enjoyable. We're going to start our workout program. Week 1 is going to be a very, very simple workout. And then we're going to build on it for 8 weeks. And then if you're not quite there after 8 weeks, we've added on an extra 4 weeks. We'll give you an entire 12-week program to get you up to par for that police testing process.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, Adam. What I love about it is just like Safeguard puts data on their recruiting, we can tell you exactly what it's going to take to get so many recruits. You've got data behind this where it actually helps. So, we're here at the first of the year and everybody's inundated with all those online programs and, become a millionaire and all this different stuff that's flying around. This is real stuff because you've used real data and you put some tremendous work into it. And I'll tell people, Adam's not getting rich by this, and certainly Safeguard isn't. It's really done for the love of this profession. Like, Adam, you've recognized the issue with recruiting. I mean, when we started having those early on conversations, you've seen this in real life, have you not?
Oh, yeah. I said I was an integral part of our testing process for many years at my agency. I sat on oral boards for several years, and I ran almost every physical fitness test we had for about half a decade. And so I was able to help so many recruits. That's why I started running those civilian workouts every Sunday morning. I say, hey, we're going to do a workout. Meet me at this location. And I would have some people would show up, some people didn't. But I'll tell you what, the people that showed up were able to get them past over that hump and on to the next portion of the hiring process. And that's really the goal for us. Is I know so many. One of the guys became a really good friend of mine. He's now a detective with another agency. But without that boost, without that bump in the physical fitness, we may never have known how great of a cop he was going to be.
Yeah. And you're right. It's designed to get them past that initial test. And if you get them past that initial test, the academy itself is going to further their fitness, right? Because it's part of the academy process. Now, we can have a whole other conversation of once you get out of the academy and what you need to do to maintain and improve that fitness. That there's a big gap in that. But what we're trying to initially do is get them past that initial step, because if they don't get past the fitness portion in the entrance exam, they're never going to get on the job anyway. And so it's very manageable. We don't want to scare people away. You're right. It's an 8-week program. You've added another 4 weeks if needed. And a lot of people that are entering law enforcement, they just don't know what to do. I mean, there's a lot of confusion out there. So if you really want a step-by-step, meaningful process that builds on it week after week, that's foundational, this is something that we would encourage all candidates to go grab onto. Just go to safeguardrecruiting.com. You'll see Fit to Protect down in the menu. Just hit that. Adam, we'll put a link in the show notes here. But for our agencies, we give this to them. So if we sign an agency up that are trying to increase their recruits, and we identify that that's a problem for them, oftentimes it is, we'll just give this program to them as an added bonus. It's their choice whether to use it or not, but why not offer it to people, right? I mean, especially on a volunteer basis. But I know for me as a former commander over recruiting, that would go a long ways if I'm talking to a budding recruit and I say, hey, have you taken part in this program? And they tell me no. That tells me sort of what their motivation is, right? I mean, why are you not taking advantage of this? So it's phenomenal work, Adam, and there's nothing like it out there. There really isn't. Fit to Protect, check it out. But Adam, you didn't stop there. You also saw a drop off in oral boards, and we've seen that too, talking to our clients. If we can get people to oral boards, I mean, we're pretty happy with that. But there's some small things that can be done in an oral board process to help a candidate out. It's not to trick the system, but many of these kids, I'll call them kids, people in their 20s, right, or early 30s, they're kids to me. They didn't grow up in a social environment that maybe I did, Adam, or we didn't have a phone or Facebook, and it was all interaction face to face, and oral boards are face to face interaction. And you've got a program out there to help in the oral board process as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So as part of the Fit to Protect program, I saw a drop off. And it wasn't necessarily, there were obviously your outliers that were just not great at interviewing, or they came very unprepared. But most people were very, very cookie cutter answers, very surface based. And I didn't feel like it took that much for somebody to stand out. And so what I did was created an oral board program to give people an idea of why the oral board exists, what to expect, how to conduct yourself, and how to better answer questions. And, and some of that can translate into the job. And, for example, this is kind of metaphorically the answers we're seeing. If I say, what did you see? And you tell me I saw a white truck drive by very fast. Okay, it's not a bad answer, right? But if you tell me I saw a white truck with a Ford emblem that screeched its tires, it was going about 35 miles an hour, it had black door handles and an American flag hanging off the back, that gives you a much better picture of what was going on at the time. And I feel like people are doing that in the interview process. They're giving us a very basic description and answering the question on a surface level when I want them to articulate themselves on a deeper level and explain to the oral board their thought process of how they got to where they got to with this answer. And I feel like that can really help them stand out above everybody else who's kind of giving these basic answers.
It's good stuff, Adam. Adam, where can they reach out to you? Obviously, you can find all about Adam at safeguardrecruiting.com, but where can they reach you personally? I know you have your own company and you're doing your own thing. Where can they find you at? Where can they reach out to you at?
Yeah, you can find us at www.soulfultraining.com. It's soulful, SOLEFUL training.com. And if you have any questions, I'm happy you can feel free to email us as well, soulfultraining@gmail.com. And I'm happy to answer any questions somebody might have.
It's good stuff. Thank you, Adam, so much for what you've done. Check out his Fit to Protect program. And if you've been watching and you've been listening here at the Police Recruiting Show, thank you for doing that. We will see you next week.